Hey folks, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchist, Ted.
What do you do when you have too many magic items in your 5e D&D game?
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter. Get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
Alright, so it's been a while since we've created magic items for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. We have a Mageforge series where we do that, and we do it relatively live-ish.
So today we're gonna create this thing. We haven't properly named it yet. So for right now, we're calling it the Vault.
All right, so some of the key features of the Vault. The Vault is a magic item repository, pretty much. Basically, this is a place where you can keep all your magic items that your 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons character has gained throughout all his adventures, and quickly you're going to realize one big problem, and that is, as a player, you're going to have all these cool magic items probably, but you only have 3 attunement slots.
So if you go through the Dungeon Master's Guide, there are a ton of magic items, and a lot of them do require attunement. And, it leaves an issue of, how am I going to carry it all? What if I need this item and I really want that item? Once battle's started, you're certainly not going to take the hour to reattune to something, just because your weapon has an issue. So we came up with this idea. The Vault, it's more of a location than a magic item that you're going to carry.
Perhaps a magical location?
Obviously. And, once you are attuned to it, there's a deficit. But you can take those magic items. Perhaps you're fighting some, great beast that's immune to fire and resistant to slashing damage. So your, fiery greatsword is not going to be any good. So you want your cold hammer. So because you're attuned to this, you can use an action, whisk away your greatsword. It gets teleported back to the repository, or to the vault, so therefore it's all safe and sound, and instantly teleported in that same action. The cold hammer has been brought to you, and it's automatically attuned to you, taking up the space of that greatsword.
Now, one of the drawbacks to using the Vault is each day at dawn you have to drop a d20. And if you roll a 1, the last item you swapped out doesn't go back to the Vault.
It's gone somewhere else.
It's gone somewhere else. And you may not know that until after you go to use it. So that is one drawback. The other drawback, obviously, is you have to be attuned. So now you only have 2 attunement slots. But you're trading that for, flexibility.
And, this location or this place, this magic item, is, more than just a magic item. It's a magical location. You have to, if you stumble across it, because it's got to be entered into the game somehow, it's not going to be simple, cut and dry. Hey, I found this item. Let me touch and attune. Yay, great. You're going to have to do research, cast spells, just to be able to open that door. Once you're inside, it could be its own little dungeon crawl full of puzzles and monsters before you even get to the spot that will allow you to attune to it and figure out exactly what it is.
There's also another problem when attuning to it. There's only so many slots for attunement. Now, that doesn't mean you can't attune to it, but it means you're breaking someone else's attunement. This may or may not be a problem, because unlike other magic items, the Vault doesn't cease to be attuned to you just because something inconvenient happened, like you died. It maintains it. Now, like you said, you get into the Vault, you may encounter the Vault's AI, Arcane Intelligence.
So similar to like Superman style, like you can find these crystals. Perhaps they're hidden in locales around the vault. Perhaps they're just right there on a bookshelf, and you can just pick up one and place it in its little console. And you get an unseen servant. You get a seen servant. An illusion shows up and is able to interact with you. But it's a magically programmed thing. Its knowledge, without any morals attached to it, is there for you to interact with. So at the time of its creation, it knows what it knows, and it's got the ability to, share that with you based on your interactions, with it. If you're causing problems, maybe it doesn't like you and doesn't want to share that information. If you are attuned to it, perhaps it sees you as, one of its, masters, and willingly shares with you, or anywhere in between.
Right, or it could be that each kind of like image is kind of key to whoever's attuned to it, and it doesn't talk about the other people. Like, to it, they don't exist. You are the only one for it, right? Until someone else comes along, of course.
Of course. So, what happens if you break break the attunement of somebody else? It's all kinds of craziness can happen, and we've got some adventure hooks that we have planned with this. But before we get too far into that, maybe we can look into some of the items that you might find should you come across this vault.
So they open the vault. What's there, Ted?
So I happen to have some ideas already drawn up. There's Alisara's repository of misplaced things. This is a great item that really works well with the vault, because the vault allows you to get things. Well, how awesome would it be to get an item that allows you to get even more things? So for 1 charge, you can get mundane items. For 2 charges, you can get alchemical supplies. 3 charges allows you to get potions or scrolls. But 5 charges actually allows you to get a new type of magic item that we've created. You want to talk about those?
Charms are basically one-use, one-shot items that can be found in this bag. There's a lot of different ones, so we won't go into all of them now. What are some other items they might find in the vault?
So there is the Bracers of the Duelist, the Braid of Bravery, and if you want to go really deep within the vault and find something amazing, there is Horne the Corruptor. This is a legendary greatsword that requires attunement by a creature that worships a god of justice or good alignment. It's a brimstone blade. It's got forbidden knowledge. It's sentient with its own awesome personality.
Well, I don't know if I'd go with awesome personality.
Well,
it's got a person.
It's awesome if you want to, look at what the true definition of awesome means, with that all-inspiring and terrible presence.
So all of these can be found in a Nerdarchy store, the Nerdarchy product called Mageforge, Secrets of the Vault, Volume 1. There's other things in there as well. You can check that out over on Nerdarchy, the store. So with that, let's jump back into talking about the vault itself. One of the other drawbacks to the vault is it moves. It doesn't always stay in the same place. It could be, like some hidden Mayan calendar or something, but it's eventually going to move. For the most part, this isn't really a problem, because when you're attuned to it, you can sense where it is. As long as it stays on the plane, you can figure it out. Maybe if it isn't on the plane, you still know where it is or have an idea. It could be either way. So basically, if your attunement is broken, you're not going to know where the vault is. You're not going to know where your stuff is. So that kind of leads us into other uses for the vault other than being a magic item in your game, which is kind of like the plot hooks.
So, first and foremost, in the vault itself, maybe there is some kind of bizarre, sundial clock, call it what you will. That is something that, should the players want to do a incredibly hard investigation, combined with Arcana check, that they can figure out when this thing does move on its irregular or regular cycle, depending upon what you want to do with it. But if it moves and attunement has been broken, you're going to have to go on a quest to find it. Should you have a quest item or something of significance that you've sent back to the vault, and you rolled the 1 and it got whisked away to somewhere else, perhaps, that's a quest in and of itself. Like, well, do you need to find a locate object spell? Do you need to do something to know precisely where this is? Or maybe it's the other side of the equation. Perhaps that's how you want to enter into the idea of the vault, of somebody else already is attuned to it, and they have this quest item that you found as random treasure somewhere. Perhaps you even found it just lying on the path several sessions ago, and nobody knew how this awesome thing just appeared out of nowhere, and you guys picked it up and used it. Well, some more powerful character shows up and begins to parlay. Maybe he will trade the secrets of the vault with you to get that item back. There's lots of different ways that you can use this.
Or he can show up accusing you of being a thief.
Well, there's always that angle as well.
There's also the idea that you actually find the vault, you figure out how to get inside it. The attunement slots are all already filled. You don't know anything about this, so you attune to it, breaking someone else's attunement, and they come looking for the vault, or for you for stealing the vault from them.
And of course, all the stuff that when you opened the vault and realized, hey, there's already some awesome stuff here.
Yeah, it's sweet. Also, we introduced the idea of the Arcane Intelligence, that this living illusion that's semi-intelligent could also become a quest giver. They, maybe they drop clues or hints that allows you to go on a quest or figure out something that you need, or maybe it also has its own agenda, even if it's not intelligence. But it was designed with seeing something fulfilled, and when you show up, it decides, it's decided that you're going to help with that.
So there's a number of different ways that you can wind up using this. For starters, perhaps this vault is so magical that it requires magic to work, and it says, hey, look, every century I need to be fed an item of X amount of power. Maybe it's something rare or better, and you're not willing to part with any of the awesome stuff that you found. Maybe you got to go out and find something just to be able to allow it to drain its power to stay functioning. Maybe you want to have this vault be more than just the vault. Maybe you want to turn this into the player's stronghold. I've played many games as a player and a GM where the players want some place to call their own, that they feel safe, that they can decorate and do with as they will. There's video games totally based on this premise where it's like, hey, we're going to build this stronghold and add these section things and do this all stuff. Well, you can do that with this. In order to access the danger room, you must bring me these kinds of things, and we enact this ritual. Oh, you want to create living quarters or what have you. Like, we're talking about a mega powerful magic item that is able to do all of this stuff, but if you want to access your own portions to expand and build on this thing, it's going to require the players to go on quests and get, rare reagents or specific magic items to unlock these extra areas.
Well, I also like the idea that you have these 12 interdimensional spaces, and perhaps there is something that lies between those spaces. There's space in between the spaces that your adventure party could get sucked in through an accident or by design, but essentially hiding a dungeon right in plain sight that you could reveal later on. You had mentioned a ritual to power this thing using an existing magic item. It could just be a ritual that they're going to have to collect certain regions and things to enact, but that could be definitely a quest to be given. So there's a lot of different ways to use this item as, one, a useful magic item, and two, as a plot device.
So the question is, would you use something like this in your game? What do you think about this idea? And we also want to know, what do you think this thing should be called? Put your thoughts and comments down in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Do you want some new magic items for your 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons game that you just can't find in the Dungeon Master's Guide? Well, head over to Nerdarchy, the store, where you can get Mageforge Secrets of the Vault Volume 1 and add them to your collection.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.